It's a scenario we've all seen, and we've all seen it time and again. You set up your base, you set up your rover, you get an RTK fix, you hop in the truck and drive 1,000 feet down the road, and the radio light cuts out. We get a lot of calls that start exactly like this. So today I wanted to walk you through just a very practical question. Why am I not getting the RTK range I'm used to, and what can I do to get it back? Today's video we're going to be covering 3 things. We're going to be talking about the most common reasons that you lose RTK range. We're going to be talking about how to test which one applies to your situation, and we're going to talk about realistically, what can you do to fix it in the field? So let's get into it. First, let's talk about why your range might be a little lower than you expected. One possibility is interference. Someone nearby might be broadcasting on the same frequency that you're on. We see this a lot on guys who are working in the middle of nowhere and they didn't think anyone would be around, but some guy has some sort of ham radio and he's broadcasting on the same frequency, and he could be 2 miles away and he'd still be stepping on your toes. And you know, in busier areas, there are just a lot of frequencies competing for airtime, and one of those might be the same one you're using. Another common issue is site geometry. Things like piles or cliff faces or terrain might be creating radio shadows from your base that will cause you to lose range. UHF can go through a lot of things, but it can't go through dirt. Hardware issues also come up more often than people expect. Radio whips can be cracked internally and not show any visible damage on the outside. And older receivers can have radio modules that just start to degrade over time. You might start losing performance out of your radio on some of the older models of GPS. So how do you narrow down what's happening in the field? Start with the simplest and easiest thing to do for surveyors, and that's survey the site. When you lose radio, suddenly come between you and your base. Did you set your base up on top of a cliff and you're driving down and you lost sight of your base over the sight line of the cliff or the bluff or something like that? If it did, that may not be a radio problem, it just might be our old friend physics. And in those cases, you'll need to either find a new spot for your base or start thinking about bringing a repeater onto site. Site layout's not the problem. The next step is obviously just to change channels, change frequencies. If you're broadcasting at 450 on site and you don't have your range, try 464. Try some other frequency that's not the one that you're getting your toe stepped on. It's the fastest way to rule out interference from someone on the same channel. After that, make sure you're using the right whip for the right frequency range that you're using. The 631 can broadcast on both 400 and 900 megahertz bands, and it comes with a 400 megahertz antenna and a 900 megahertz antenna. If you're using the wrong one for the wrong band, that can absolutely kneecap your range. Next, swap your antennas for new ones. It's always a good idea just to have a spare set of antennas in the truck that you can do this kind of a test with. You know, first, take the antenna off your base, put a fresh one on, see if it solves your problem. If it doesn't, do the same thing on the rover and check again. And if the problem's still there after swapping your antennas, just try swapping the base and rover heads. If you take your base, set up as a rover, take your rover, set it up as a base, and it solves the problem, great. And now you know that one of those units has an issue. The reason that might work is because the base is putting power through the antenna and the rover is mostly just passively receiving. So if one of the units is failing to put power to the antenna and you swap them, it might now be able to receive corrections, but you still have that issue in the receiver. The other one ever fails and now you're completely down. So that solution will buy you time in the field, but once you get back to the office, you should absolutely call your GPS supplier, have them take a look at these things or help you diagnose what's going on, because now you have one configuration that works, one configuration that doesn't work. If the other one fails, now you're down. And one more option, especially if you're working in very, very difficult radio environments, is to swap the frequency band that you're using. Like I said, the 631 can broadcast on 400 megahertz and 900 megahertz. You'd be using the Citel protocol for 400, you'd be using the FreeWave 900M protocol for 900 megahertz. 400 is typically meant to go farther range, but it's much worse at handling interference than 900. And while 900 does have a shorter total range, if you're on a difficult radio environment, it might be good to slice through all that interference with the 900 megahertz radio. And if you've gone through all of these steps and you're still not getting the range you've expected, try taking the receivers back to the office and doing the test in an environment that you know works. If you know you've seen the radios perform in this area and they still do, the issue might be site specific, and now you have to start thinking about how to get around that. If nothing works, it's probably time to get the units looked at. That's when you phone your GPS supplier, someone like Benchmark, and we can look at getting those things repaired for you. That's the systematic way to diagnose radio problems. If you're looking for more videos like this, check out this other troubleshooting video we got here. And if you like our content, subscribe for Surveying Made Simple.